Modern architecture sucks my dick. Modern architecture is like a fucking hairy ball sack. It has all the aesthetics of the inside of a fucking rectum. I've seen termite mounds that have more aesthetic beauty than modern architecture. Literally, pretty much anything built after World War II is shit. Pure, revolting shit. Concrete, glass, no detail, no aesthetics, and most of all, no cultural representations of anything. No statues representing historic figures, or mythological figures. None of that. Just shit. Just and I think modern architecture is a metaphor for globalism in general, because if the architecture in every country in the world is the same bland shit, it's the same as how the culture in every country in the world is the same bland shit. Or the people are the same bland shit, like the same multi-culti fucking Tatooine Mos Eisley Cantina mixture of random people. And it's like when you put a bunch of different types of cereal in a bowl together and you eat it, you know what type of cereal it tastes like? It tastes like nothing. And that's what multiculturalism is, and that's what modern architecture is. It's fucking nothing. It's literally, remember, if anyone's seen the never ending story, it's the nothingness that's spreading across the land and destroying everything. That's what modern architecture is. Like, if you go to Europe and you compare the buildings from before World War II and the buildings from after, it's incomparable. Fucking literally night and day, heaven and hell next to each other. Like, oh my gosh. And yet you have all these fucking brainwashed idiots going to architecture school today and being taught that modern architecture is superior, not only economically superior but aesthetically superior. They're told that old architecture, oh, it's cheesy, it's, oh, we shouldn't look to the past, we should look to the future, because looking to the past, you know why it is? Because that would mean accepting that modern architecture is shit, and they don't want to accept that, so they maintain themselves in their delusion. It's like staying in an abusive relationship. In order to justify staying in the abusive relationship, you have to lie to yourself, and you have to tell yourself, oh no, it's a good relationship, really. And that's what I think our relationship with modern architecture and cultural Marxism in general is. And I think modern architecture is one of the foremost signs of how shitty cultural Marxism is. And it's one of the things that you can relate to with the average person, because if you talk about race, you talk about gender, you talk about sexuality, that you talk about religion, that'll turn off a lot of people. But architecture is a bit more of a safe subject to breach on. Same with modern art, which is basically the same as modern architecture. It's nothingness. Go to any museum and compare the fucking like impressionist artwork or the classical artwork, and compare that Baroque artwork, compare that to fucking today. Oh my gosh, it's incomparable. It's like even with women, compare a classical looking, like, or even some of the women today who look feminine and have long hair, they're beautiful. Compare that to like some short-haired, tattooed, bull bitch. Yeah, it's incomparable, fucking incomparable. Um, Yeah, I mean, and they say the past should remain in the past. Oh, really? So if the past doesn't captivate people's minds, then why is it that movies like Lord of the Rings and Frozen make so much money? Movies that call back to past times in Europe, or Game of Thrones, for instance. Why are these things so popular if we should just leave the past in the past? No, I say we need to bring back the past. And I'm not like one of these fucking short-sighted Reaganites who says we need to bring back the 1950s. Fuck that! We need to bring back the 1850s. We need to bring back the 1750s. We need to bring back the 1650s. And no, I'm not talking in every regard. Obviously, we've made a lot of advances since then in technology and medicine, and we should keep that. But in terms of art, architecture, aesthetics, all things like that, like, I see no reason why we shouldn't try to reconnect with the past. And yes, we should innovate on the past. We shouldn't just necessarily copy it. Well, I think we should copy it in cases like, for instance, rebuilding stuff that was destroyed in World War II. But if we're going to build new things in new locations, then yes, we can innovate. But at the same time, I think we should innovate along the lines we were going in the past, like kind of pick up where we left off. Like, for instance, if you look at Jules Verne, retrofuturism, that would be a lot more beautiful, some of that kind of stuff, than the shit that we're producing today. Yeah, I mean, basically this hatred for the past, I think, is one of the foremost types of prejudice of cultural Marxists. It's this disdain for everything before the 1960s. And no, I mean, why not? I mean, if things were better then in certain regards, I see no reason why we shouldn't reconnect with it and try to embrace it again. Because I mean, ultimately, it's beauty versus ugliness, and I side with beauty every time.